He didn't even look at me when he did it, just flicked the crumpled $50 bill across the table like I was some beggar he was tired of feeding. "Get out," he said. "I'm done paying for another man's mistake." That was the moment he thought he won, the moment he thought he'd finally crushed me. I stared at that bill for a long second, let the silence stretch, let him think I was breaking. Then I picked it up and smiled. Not a happy smile, a knowing one. The kind that makes a man nervous, even if he doesn't understand why yet. I reached into my pocket and slid the sealed envelope onto the table. "I know," I said, "and my real father is waiting outside." His head snapped up, he frowned, and when he looked out the window, his face went gray. I'll come back to that moment, but first, you need to know how we got there. Growing up, I thought my dad was strict because he wanted the best for me. He wasn't affectionate, but I convinced myself he cared in his own way. Every insult, every cold shoulder, every moment he made me feel like an inconvenience, I absorbed it and made excuses. But there were good moments too, rare but bright enough to make me believe the rest didn't matter. When I won my school debate, he clapped once. When I fixed the old generator, he muttered, "Good." Those crumbs kept me loyal longer than he deserved. And then, when I was 15, I started to notice things. His eyes lingering on me with something colder than disappointment. His grip tightening whenever Mom mentioned dates around my birth. The way he always emphasized "my son," like he was convincing himself. I didn't understand it then, but I felt the shift. I felt the distance grow. And I filed it away. It wasn't dramatic, no shouting, no slamming doors, just a conversation I wasn't supposed to hear. Mom whispering on the phone, her voice breaking. "He found out. He knows the boy isn't his." My stomach dropped. For a full minute I couldn't breathe. But it wasn't because I felt betrayed. It was because suddenly, finally, everything made sense. The harshness, the resentment, the way he only tolerated me, never loved me. And in that moment, something inside me shifted. Not anger, not sadness, focus. If he was going to treat me like a mistake, then I'd make sure he lived long enough to regret it. I didn't confront anyone. I didn't ask questions. I didn't cry. I observed. I learned that the man on the phone with Mom wasn't some stranger. He'd been around, watching from a distance, respecting boundaries Mom had set years ago. He sent money, gifts, but never interfered. I searched his name. A quiet, successful businessman. No scandals, no criminal record. A man who built everything he had from nothing. A man completely unlike the man raising me. So I reached out, just once, a single message. "I think you're my father." He replied within minutes. "I've been waiting for you." For years, I let the tension in the house build naturally. I didn't provoke anything. I didn't need to. He grew meaner on his own, colder, more openly cruel. I endured everything with a calmness that bothered him, because he couldn't understand why I didn't break. Meanwhile, I gathered proof. His gambling debts, his secret account, his unpaid taxes, his verbal abuse toward Mom. Not to ruin him out of hatred, but because I wanted leverage, insurance. And I waited for the perfect moment. My 18th birthday. The day he legally lost control over me. He threw the $50 bill, delivered his insult, tried to humiliate me one last time. I slid the envelope toward him. Inside was everything I'd been collecting. Financial statements, screenshots, audio recordings, his entire ugly truth. And on top, a signed affidavit from the man outside, confirming paternity. Watching him open it was peaceful. He froze. His eyes darted across the pages. His chest rose and fell like he was drowning. "You planned this," he whispered. "Yes," I said. He looked out the window, saw the man he'd mocked for years without knowing him, stronger, calmer, more successful. The man I looked like. And that's when the fear hit him. Not because he was losing me, but because he realized he never had me in the first place. I walked out of that house without raising my voice, without slamming a door, without looking back. My real father put a hand on my shoulder. Firm, steady, the kind of touch I'd only imagined before. As we drove away, I glanced at the house shrinking in the distance. There was no guilt, no sadness, just clarity. Some men are fathers by blood, some by choice, and some are merely the obstacles you outgrow on your way to the life you deserve.